to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Well, Fat Joe is a great storyteller. That's one thing we can't
Always
ever deny.
been that. Always.
He's incredible. He paints great pictures. You feel like you're there, right? Well, last night, Ebro was a guest. Is it still called the Jopra Show?
I think it's called,
Just
the
big show?
big show with Jopra. And I think.
Well, Fat Joe does his talk show on his IG Live. And we were surprised. We saw an Ebro pop-up. You guys know that Ebro never goes on anyone's live. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's anti-live.
Very
I'm not anti-live. I just don't have a lot of people who invite me places.
No, and you don't have a lot of time, and you're tired at the end of the day, and you're old, and you're washed.
Well, and I also feel like, at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I done talked all day. I done did 2 radio shows, like 3 interviews. Nobody want to hear from me.
I know sometimes if I do an interview, I actually feel sorry. Like I feel sick of everyone hearing me. I'm like, I never shut up. It's enough. But I want to hear this. What did Ebro have to say?
So peep this. Well, last night, my boyfriend Ricardo was like, wait a second. This is getting spicy. Is this real? Are they going at each other? Are they friends? So check out a couple of these clips.
Joe, real talk, man. I'm a nice guy. That's why I never really had any problems, because I'm a nice dude, man. I ain't running around with no security. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to stun on nobody. I'm just a nice, regular dude trying to help people get money, man. That's it, man.
Yeah. Yo, Ebro, let me ask you something.
And now, Joe, you know me, like you said, like
Ebro's taking over.
Problems with me, but I ain't no sucker, bro. You ain't just gonna talk to me any old type of way.
Oh.
Like I may not be no gangster, but now I could do what I gotta do. You ain't just about to come in my room.
Yo, Ebro, you got
spicy talk.
Kodak Black just came home from jail. Don't do that. Leave the man alone, man.
Yo,
Never come to Florida.
Yo, listen.
Leave him alone on Never Come to Florida. Trust me.
Listen.
If you want advice from me, don't skip Fort Lauderdale. Don't land there.
That was it? I wanted to hear the story. I wanted to hear the Kodak story.
Leave him alone or never come to Florida.
What happened after that?
I didn't really go into it. I think I said after that, I was trying to help him. Like, that was what my intention was, to, like, not gloss over the fact that you have, sexual assault charges, because that's a serious thing.
And they're still out. They're still going.
Right. But also acknowledge that, like, look, man, after you get it cleaned up, like, since I know you take it serious like we do, that was my intention, for him to go, yes, I take it serious too, and boom. But it didn't go that way.
But I've never been involved in a situation where the intention was so far from what the result and perception was. Well, mostly by people who are not bright. But I remember very specifically, we had conversations before about how to handle this, because we were not going to ignore it.
Well, and they asked to come on our show.
Right.
We did not request Kodak Black.
I told you this at the time. The only argument I would have had against Ebro at the time was that you'd already done it once, so maybe the second time he felt it was like an attack. But either way, it wasn't that. It was also you covering your bases to make sure you did your job to show that we're not just cool with ignoring a sexual assault charge.
That's right.
Yeah, and then he got crazy with us. Then he started.
Well, and that was the real kicker, was he cursed at Laura. Rosenberg claims he cursed at him.
I made a joke.
I don't think I would have got that upset about that.
I made some sort of joke, and he was like, "Oh, y'all asking me this bullish anyway." And that's when Ebro, and then I tried to talk again, and Ebro's like, "Nah, or we don't have to do this at all." And then the awkwardness. Whew.
Change the subject. I'm finna walk out.
We'll change which subject?
Just whatever. Like,
well, they tried to change the subject. They was talking about the moon landing.
That's bullshit too. So talk about something else.
Well, I was saying, I think
we don't have to talk about nothing else. We could be done right here.
All right, I'm going. Say less.
Well, that's a bummer.
What about this clip right here, Ebro? This van talk.
I'm only here. You said you wanted to hurt me in front of the world while talking to Envy. I was like, wait, what? What happened?
Yeah, Ebro, you better thank Beckas that you're walking around in human form, okay?
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Beckas has saved your life in multiple occasions. You almost made, and I'll tell you something, and it's crazy. Many years ago, but let me tell you, I'll tell you something. You almost made the white van, and let me tell you, you wouldn't have been the first guy to get in the back of that.
I heard about the white van.
Oh, yes. That collect people. Like, that collect
listen.
in trouble out here.
Hey, I just, like I always told everybody, I'm not one of them dudes. I'm a nice guy.
Envy.
I don't want no problems.
Envy. Envy. Hold on. Let me get Ebro. Let me say to you.
I'm not one of them guys. I'm a nice guy.
When you don't play somebody's record and you don't support a guy's record when he puts his life into that, they get very offended because they can't feed their kids.
Yeah.
Then Khaled jumped in to light his love. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's stay in the light. Yo, listen. Let's stay in the light. What I am going to say is, Ebro, you almost made the white van. Can you confirm that you have heard rumors of the white van?
Oh, I've heard about the white van. I've heard about the white van.
It comes out on occasion.
But not with my name on it.
No, you never. Oh, your name.
My name was
vinyl wrapped over the white.
Vinyl wrapped?
Your name was vinyl
Oh, no.
wrapped.
It was not. I'm a positive guy. You in your heart,
you wanted to smoke. I was leaving, and you trying to say, yo, Joe, say it to my face.
Yo, in your heart, you couldn't have even done that to me.
And then he threw a
We
song
love
on.
you, Ebro. The light is off. Talent, the light is off.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
that reminds me of the late, great Larry King. Because I
do you
remember the
mean?
time. Well, I remember when Larry King occasionally would tell guests that he almost had them thrown into a van and kidnapped, and then started screaming at them. I've seen that before. I remember when Larry would do that, man.
Now that's the big show with Fat Joe. And keeping it real, I never heard about that with my regard. I never heard this disdain for me from Fat Joe.
That means that Joe had a moment when you didn't support the third single off the Terror Squad album, and he was getting really mad. And
I
Pecos,
really like that Terror Squad album. I was
It's a great
a big
album.
champion of that album.
And Pecos, but if you didn't support every single, and then Pecos was probably like, yo, you need to chill. Pecos, of course, is a record industry guy / friend of many, and stepped in and was probably like, nah, Joe, chill.
He was like, everybody relax.
I mean, you would have been a pain in the ass to get into that van, let's be honest. Of
know, you're a
all
big
the people, of all the radio personalities you could try to grab and throw in a van, Ebro might be last on my list.
Well, and earlier in the night when we was having a convo with Fat Joe, he talked about how, he had an issue with early FloJo days with somebody at Hot 97, and it didn't bode well for him and his career, and he ended up spending years having to kiss ass and beg for his music to get played.
Oh, because he had beef, Fat Joe was still very rough around the edges in those days.
Right, and so he told that story, and I think I've been in this business 30 years. You're gonna have real problems out here with the amount of people out and put in the game around this nation in radio. If you were to think that at any point you was gonna harm the guy that's just been helping everybody,
Yeah, it wouldn't go well.
like I've literally helped everybody. So that's probably the advice Pecos gave, was like, yo, man, this guy, like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
and also don't commit crime against the guy who runs the radio station. That would be that's front page news.
But I don't even think I think it's all what's that called? It's a fable.
I
don't
it's
think
all
it was real.
spicy talk.
It's spicy.
Joe loves spicy talk. That's what he does.
He's
a
great.
great storyteller. So, man,
He really is.
And I learned yesterday that every day at 8:00, this show goes on live.
That's right. Since quarantine started.
I didn't know that. He was offended. Then he also tried to get me to say to him that was the biggest show. I wasn't going to fix my lips on Fat Joe's show to say your show is bigger than mine.
Why would you say that?
Exactly. He was like, yo, admit right now, this is the biggest show. I was like, it's one of the big shows, man.
I love Joe, man.
It's one of them.
Admit it. Say it's the biggest.
Nori's in the comments trolling me. I still owe Nori a visit. Nori been asking me to go on Drink Champs for the longest.
Yeah,
and we
me
just
too.
never linked up. And now Drink Champs is massive out here. He don't even need me on there. He got everybody. He'll probably be like,
No,
nah, I'm
he still
good.
needs you.
I'm Gucci.
He still needs you. There's still shows to be done. Problem is going to Miami.
That part. I can't
don't
go.
I don't trust Miami.
Because Kodak Black. Can't
Oh,
even
yeah,
go.
and you can't even go
Alright.
to.
I
Damn,
can't even go.
All right.